Hello class, good afternoon. Welcome to another lecture session where we are going to discuss with you, my group D1 students. We are going to see what to discuss in the subsequent slide. As usual, my name is Dr. AMINU, who is taking you through this course, Use of English, throughout this semester. So let's see what we are going to discuss today. Now the module here is concerned with reading comprehension and summary. What is reading? In a way of introduction, let us know what is reading. Reading as one of the four essential and interrelated skills in language learning, namely listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Reading plays a significant role in language acquisition. It denotes the reader's capability to decipher or interpret a written document. While writing and speaking are expressive language skills, since they help our ability to produce print and speech, reading and listening are receptive language skills, because they permit us understand print and speech respectively. What is reading comprehension then? Reading comprehension means understanding. Therefore, reading comprehension means to read to understand, or read to understand what the passage is all about and respond accurately to the questions that follow. If someone is able to do this, then of course he has good comprehension of what he has read. We have types of reading. Intensive reading. Intensive reading refers to reading shorter texts to extract specific information and other textual details. On the other hand, extensive reading means wide reading. It involves reading longer texts to have global understanding and may be done for pleasure. So let me shed more light here. Intensive reading is a type of reading that requires someone to read a particular text, a particular information, a particular reading material in order to extract specific information and other textual details from the reading material. But extensive, from the word extensive, now this type of reading requires someone to read wide. It involves reading longer texts to have understanding or global understanding and may be done for pleasure. So reading for pleasure mostly is extensive reading, whereas reading for maybe examination or maybe assessments or test or quiz, that could be intensive reading. That's what this slide is trying to inform you. Now we have different purposes of reading comprehension. Purposes of reading comprehension. Different people read different materials for different purposes. Now here are some of the purposes that lead someone that requires reading comprehension. Purpose of reading comprehension includes: 1. To grasp the sense of the passage. 2. To generalize from and apply simple logic to the passage. 3. To get the meaning of parts and whole of the passage. 4. To understand the passage's essential features. 5. To identify the key words and their grammatical functions. 6. To appreciate facts from opinions. 7. To identify sentence types and figurative expressions. To grasp the sense of the passage, the idea, what the passage talks about, that's what we mean here. To generalize from and apply simple logic to the passage, that is, you can make generalization from the logic of the passage. If you are able to comprehend the passage well, you can generalize from and apply simple logic to the passage. You can get meaning of part and whole of the passage. Yes, you require reading comprehension in order to get the meaning of the parts and the whole of the passage. You require reading comprehension in order to understand the passage's essential features, the features that are exhibited, explained in the passage. You need reading comprehension in order to identify the key words, the salient words, and their grammatical functions. You also need reading comprehension in order to appreciate facts from opinions. You appreciate facts from opinions. If you comprehend, you'll be able to appreciate between what are truth and what are opinions of the reader, of the writer, of the writer, or as portrayed in the passage. You need reading comprehension in order to identify sentence types. What sentence types are used in the passage that you are reading, or in the text, or reading materials that is before you. And you also be able to identify figurative expressions. What expressions are figurative that requires? What expressions are figurative that maybe require your connotative ability of inferring the meaning of those maybe expressions. Now, steps of reading comprehension. There are steps that you need to follow. Introduction. To remember a reading, 3 essential steps are presented to you. Let's take a look at what you should do before, during, and after reading to get the most out of your reading. So, steps to follow. Steps of reading comprehension. You have to really know what to do before the reading, what to do during the reading, and what to do after the reading. Before you read, you have this task. You need to identify the structure of the text. Before you read, identify the structure of the text. To fully understand the text, one must first look at how it is structured. We need to carefully observe the elements of the text in order to identify the structure. The title, the subtitles, the illustrations, captions, boxes, words in bold type, etc. All these features help the reader to understand the structure of the text before he or she starts reading the text. Now, during the reading, be active. Be active during the reading. That's it. You have to define. That's it. You have defined your reader projects, and you are starting to lose yourself in reading the text. Here again, certain attitudes facilitate understanding and memorization. Locate the frame. Locate the frame. Locate the key idea. Yes, locate the frame of the text. How is the text framed? And locate the key idea in the text. If you can locate the key idea, then of course you are becoming more active. After reading, what do you do after reading? Rephrase. You need to rephrase after reading. To rephrase does not mean paraphrasing, let alone copying all the key ideas to the chain on a piece of paper. No. Rephrase is to explain what you have retained from the text in your own words. If you are able to explain what you have retained from the text in your own words, in that case you are able to rephrase the reading material. So, reading comprehension is independent of summary. Summary is another activity, it's another segment that requires us to explain this to you. A summary is a brief statement, restatement in your own words of the main idea of a passage. So when you write a summary, you condense the writer's ideas. When you write a summary, you condense the writer's ideas into a few concise sentences. A few concise sentences. That's why you have a passage, or a passage of 2 or 3 paragraphs, and you'll be asked to summarize the main idea as explained in the passage in 1 sentence. That's summary. You write in your own words the main idea of the passage in 1 sentence. Okay, a summary is always shorter than the larger text because it omits the examples, asides, analogies, and rhetorical strategies that the writers use to add emphasis and interest. According to this scholar, Kisner and Mandel, 2008, summary is always and has to always be shorter than the larger text which you have read, because it omits. You don't have to state anything. You don't have to say everything that is explained in the passage. You only need to take care of the main idea to summarize it. So you have to maybe leave away. You have to omit. You have to ignore certain examples given in the text or in the passage, or certain analogies or certain rhetorical strategies that the writer used to add emphasis and interest in what he presents to you as the reader. Now we have procedures for writing summary. Let us go through these procedures. 1. Understand the text. You need to take time to understand the text. Some people prefer first reading without taking notes to make sure they understand the main idea and the structure of the text. Anyway, you need to understand the text. 2. You need to create a plan. Yes. You need to take maybe a half sheet of drafts and write down the plan chosen by the author of the text. Find the original structure, the ideas that drive each of the main lines of the text, and make sure everything is well integrated. If you do this, you are making progress. 3. Write. The length of paragraphs should not depend on the length of the idea in the text, but on its importance. Spend a little more time on fundamental concepts. Spend a little more time on fundamental concepts. Okay? Less or much less, to the point of completely obscure and illustrated paragraph of the concept just explained before or after. So in this case, you need to really spend a little more time on fundamental concepts. Yes, not concepts that have less importance, not concepts that are illustrative paragraphs, because all these are trying to explain further what the concepts are as presented by the writer of a particular text. So you need to write that. You need to take note of this. So that is when you write your paragraphs, concisely. Now, after you have written your sentence, your summary concisely, the next stage is to proofread. Once the writing is complete, read everything. Check that you have nothing forgotten, you have nothing added, you have nothing supposed. So that is proofreading. Check whether you have not included certain ideas, or you have missed some important information, or you have added unnecessary information, so that you can now edit, alright, and rewrite, proofread, to make some corrections, to make some adjustments. Then 5, make sure that your text is clear, well written, with a good writing style. It's understandable by a reader who has not read the original text, and make sure that your text is rigorous for a reader who reads it. You can also follow the following 6 steps in summarizing a text. Step 1. List the main ideas for each paragraph in the text. 2. Underline the main idea statements that include the most important ideas from the text. 3. Combine any ideas that could go into one sentence. 4. Number the ideas in logical order. 5. Write your summary in one paragraph. And then 6. Edit your summary.